Over the past year or two, Poppy has proven two things. One, she will not be confined to one genre or style, and two, Poppy knows how to stay busy. A steady stream of new EPs, TV, and Grammy appearances, and now a new full-length album, Flux, proves that the screaming pop, metal, whatever you want to define her as, has a world of creativity she is trying to show. Poppy is becoming a huge deal. All that is not even including the touring she is planning on doing at the end of 2021, and going into 2022, she'll be on the road again. Just more proof that Poppy is not human and in fact a robot made from YouTube and music industry algorithms who has become sentient, broken free, and doing whatever she wants while making good music. It's crazy how plausible that all is. Flux, running a short 32 minutes across 9 tracks, is another evolution and change for Poppy. From the screaming pop metal clash to stylized serenades and I Disagree, Flux changes sound into styles of grunge, alternative, and occasional insanity, as Poppy is always known to deliver with just the right timing. I feel that Poppy and her backing band are extremely talented musicians and definitely the standout act that needs massive media attention, and sure enough, Poppy's reach is growing. Now that Poppy is free from restraining and controlling past collaborators, we are seeing just how high Poppy can fly. While she's flying high, Poppy is raining down new music in a massive amount. You could tell her popularity and demand just by Poppy announcing she would drop off the Deftones Gojira tour that was scheduled for 2020 and then postponed and again rescheduled for 2022. The amount of disappointment from people was huge, and she was the opening act, not the headliner. That's a big deal. That was one of my most looked forward to lineups for concert tours in 2021, 2022, now, whenever. And even though Poppy won't be on it, that's still a great show with Deftones and Gojira, but it does beg the question of what Poppy has truly planned for all of 2022. And then you have other EPs probably coming, tours and TV appearances. Seriously, I don't think she sleeps, and that sentient robot thing makes a little bit more sense. The title track was an immediate shift from the Eat EP and I Disagree in the build, and while the verses may be too quiet, the chorus and hook with You Got to Flux and Flow with It is killer. It's a longer track, but everything connects well, and while it's not as attention-grabbing as something like Concrete, the song works great as a title track and single. Her is a quick 2 minutes in contrast with a gritty grunge vibe and low-tone guitar and strong percussion beat that makes the song feel like it's stripped straight out of the mid-90s. Poppy has a little rasp in her voice with the performance, and it blends in smoothly with the music. I was not expecting a song like this from Poppy, but it worked. So Mean has a fun guitar riff and melody. The vocals are low though, a bit too low in fact for the song, and I think it hinders the track outside of the main chorus hook. The repetition does drive the track into the ground after a bit in under 3 minutes. The guitar work is killer, but So Mean I feel is definitely the weaker of these singles. These 3 singles are pretty different, but in the same way both completely describe Poppy's unpredictability and creative mixing and songwriting to make everything reflect the artist well. You never know what you're going to get with new Poppy music, but more often than not, you are pleasantly surprised and satisfied. Lessen the Damage continues the energy from Flux with a strong 90s West Coast punk rock vibe. It sounds good. Also in punk form, it's short, not even 2.5 minutes. It has a great flair, bass line, guitars, the bridge is fun, it's a solid song. On the Level has a unique guitar tone with some dissonance and Poppy singing a bit more smoothly. There is some of that Poppy transition whiplash with a crazy riff and drum roll out of nowhere, but I admit I was expecting that sooner or later. Nothing great, but nothing bad. Hysteria has one great line in There's No Time for Classification, and maybe it's me, but that really does fit as a defining statement for Poppy's music. The la-las with the dreaming guitar effects give a soft, sweet effect and has a great ending, but the first 3 minutes do drag on a bit, to get to that end, I should say. Bloom has the drums really up front in the mix, and I think that overtakes some of Poppy's presence like previous songs. I bloom like a flower. That line will be buried into your brain after a while, and at just under 4 minutes, it feels like there are some solid ideas here, but it doesn't all flesh out perfectly. As strange as it seems, it's more of that dreamy shoegaze style that has been hinted at through the middle of the album. The notes work a bit, and the distortion sound doesn't allow you to fall asleep. The song has more of an atmosphere and would work well as a soundtrack. Finally, Never Find My Place is a solid closer with some stronger writing across the board. It doesn't rely on hard repetition or 1 or 2 line phrases. At about 2.5 minutes, the band behind Poppy cuts loose, and it's a fast, adrenaline-rising build to Poppy coming in ominously. It defines many different styles of Poppy that you can get, all in one song. Lyrically, I did not find this as memorable as I Disagree, and while the true raw heaviness that some people may have been looking for is not as present, the style and tone in a lot of the 90s-esque sounding music works well. Poppy is continuing to explore different styles of music, and in a short amount of time, she's found many styles that suit her. Like she said, there's no time for classification. Poppy is refusing to meet any expectations people have for her and making music however she wants. Overall, Flux resembles alternative and rock from over 20 years ago in the best of ways, while Poppy continues to build a resume of genres she can flow through. The standout songs keep you coming back, and Flux adds to the mystery and appeal to a musician who wants to stand out in a sea of generic rock and metal. Poppy is absolutely succeeding with that goal as she continues to flow with it. What did you think of Flux? What do you think of Poppy? Leave a comment and let everyone know. Big thanks to my patrons and a special thanks to Brandon Barenfeld and Chris Doman. You can have a say in upcoming videos, get new music playlists sent to you, and see videos early by supporting Rocked on Patreon. Click on the link in the video description for more info. Please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified on upcoming videos, and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. For those wondering what Poppy is like to see live, she and their band are great. Lots of energy, they play into the bit at times, she tells the whole crowd she loves them right before screaming her head off while dressed up really nice. I would recommend it to anyone.